Discipleship is not about passing on some skills. That's a mentoring relationship. Discipleship is not an accountability relationship. People stress accountability when they don't know how to relate. Discipleship is about loving someone and teaching them to love what we love. Discipleship is not an obligation, it's a pleasure. Scott was Jesus to me. And then Scott prayed with me often. It was one of the ways we concluded our time together. He taught me how to study the Bible. I was already reading the Bible like Jesus was going to come back and give me a test. He taught me how to study the Bible. He goes, let's do 2 Timothy together. The paragraph is a unit of study, not the verse. Give the paragraph a 3-word title. Try to summarize the essence of that paragraph in 3 words. Then come to the next paragraph and ask yourself how it grows out of that preceding paragraph, and then give it a 3-word title that expresses that relationship. And then do this all the way to the end of the book. Then memorize your 3-word titles, and then you can close your eyes and think your way through a whole book of Scripture. I started doing that when I was 17. I didn't do it by myself. I did it with Scott, and he showed me some of his ideas, and then we did 1 Peter together. And then for the rest of my life, I was off to the races storing books of the Bible on the shelves of my brain. And you go, why would a 17-year-old kid do something like that? And my answer was, well, that's just what Christians do. I knew a Christian once. That's what he does. That's part of enjoying God, is learning how to appreciate his word. And he taught me how to memorize his word. People said they can't memorize Scripture. Everybody can memorize Scripture. The people who can't memorize it don't have a system. They don't have a topical system. And he got me the Navigators, this topical system. So today, if someone says, is Jesus God? You go, oh yeah, sure, Scripture teaches that. And you go, how do you know? Well, John 10:30, I and the Father are one. And then I can just start quoting verses on the deity of Jesus, because I became a young life leader after Scott, and I was answering those kind of questions all the time and just storing Scripture. And it became a pleasure to store Scripture. I took these little business cards and just redeemed the boredom of sometimes class. None of your classes, I'm sure. But some of the classes where I went to school could be a little boring, and sometimes I would just sit on that back row, and if my mind was drifting, instead of drifting, I'd just pull out those little business cards and memorize Scripture. And then eventually I found a way to use them and teach other kids to do that. He taught me how to tell my story, and then gave me a place to do it. This is all when I was still in high school. Tell people what your life was like before you met Jesus, how you met Jesus, and how it's different. Then he took me to his Young Life Bible study group, which met at 5:30 or 6 on Wednesday morning, 12 guys in it. And I told my story, and when I finished, the quarterback of the football team goes, cool story, man. And Scott took me to breakfast afterwards, and he said, Jack, you did great. He said, you have one of the most powerful stories I've ever heard, and you told it so well. My heart just soared on that praise. I mean, being praised by a person you love and want to be like, what's greater than that feeling? Being loved. See, he was discipling me. He was loving me, having pleasure in me, and teaching me to love what he loved.